It is the 41st millennium.
Oh, my intro didn't play.
It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels.
Hello, good evening. How the hell is everybody? Congrats on 15,000 subscribers. Yeah, thanks so much, dude. Happy days. That was like 14,998 for like 8 hours earlier or something. I must have checked it so many times at 14,998. We did it though, 15,000. I'm very happy about that. Good evening, Eternal Crusader. Good evening, Ardeen. Brick, good evening. Yandros, how you doing? Nathan, good evening. Hope you guys have had a nice day. We went out for a bit of a walk. It was a nice day here in Scotland. It's summer. Summer doesn't last very long in Scotland, so you gotta appreciate it and use it while you can. Let me see where I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna do a little bit on this company hero guy with I forget what weapon this guy's got. Mastercrafted power sword. Oh look, Aradeen's starting the stream off in an awesome manner. Dude, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. What way to start. Good evening, thank you. There we go. So if you just got gifted sub. Oh, let me turn my volume down a tiny bit. If you just got a gifted sub, remember you do get into our Discord, our members only Discord. Come say hi. Thank Aradeen for getting you a gifted sub. Superstar. Aradeen, you support me like that every single month, dude. Thank you so much. So I'm pretty sure the list that I'm running at the moment with the Outriders is going to be the and Outriders and Sangreguard. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the list I take to the GT that I'm. Well, like it's the Blood Angels Commander GT, right? Like it's the 29th of June. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be taking Sangreguard and Outriders to my own GT. It's maybe not the most competitive list I've ever run, but I like to find things that are fun. Mars, Jeffrey, Astartes, Trucker, good afternoon, congrats on the gifted membership. Big E-Flow is at an RTT right now. First game's a tie between my Flesh Tears and Imperial Knights. Knights can be quite a hard list for Blood Angels to deal with, honestly, because everything's got such high toughness and such good OC. I think Knights are a difficult matchup for us. Depends how many big knights they've got as well, because of their toughness 13, that's a really tricky number to deal with. Like, las cannons and stuff are pretty ineffectual against toughness 13 knights. Nathan says I'm unexpectedly finally painting my Dante model after I managed to accidentally squeeze in a quarter bottle of Metal Alchemy Dwarves gold into my wet palette. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're unexpectedly painting a bunch of guys that need to be gold then, huh? So I'm gonna do 2 coats of red on this guy, Evil Sun Scarlet. I'm just gonna try and hit all the main areas, brighten them up a little bit. I've got an Outrider just off camera. I'm gonna put a little bit of silver, a little bit of metal on this Outrider, I guess. Probably, and then I'm gonna get a little bit. So I'm just trying to get 3 colors on a bunch of things and have them somewhat finished for the tournament. What if you brought only characters? What, for the tournament? What do you mean, what if you only brought only characters? You said Outriders. Yeah, I am running Outriders at the moment. Gonna be running 3 of them. Well, 2 squads of 3 actually, sorry. I get 3 of them that I'm painting red, I get 3 of them that I'm painting Death Company colours. I haven't running any ATVs though. I think the ATVs might be bad now because of the change to multi-meltas, but I don't know, I haven't played any ATVs. I suppose I could proxy some of my old attack bikes as ATVs, because I do have a bunch of Firstborn attack bikes. I don't think anyone... And I actually built all my attack bikes onto bases, because I kind of didn't like the fact that they didn't come on bases, so I put mine on bases. So yeah, I played a bit of Space Marine, the first one, this week as well. Played it for like an hour the other night. Forgot how fun it was. I'm kind of looking forward to Space Marine 2. I thought I'd get a refresher on the first game because it's been like a great many years since I played the first game though. So I did release a little video about Space Marine 1 earlier today. I don't know if many people caught it, but if you're interested in Space Marine 1, there is a video out that I put out earlier today. You could check it out. Sweetheart, how did you open the stairgate? Did I not close it?
Yeah.
Did I close it? No? Okay, what do you want?
I wanted a drink.
You wanted a drink? Okay.
I was talking to you on the camera.
Oh, and I didn't see the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll get you a drink. Come on. No idea how she opened the stairgate. Oops. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, Trivial Pursuit. How you doing? I finally got a big piece of Blood Angel's wall art, by the way, up here. You guys see it? Let's see, can I like yeah, look. Blood Angel's wall art. How cool, huh? I've been wanting that. I've been wanting it for ages. So it's the front of the 8th edition, 9th edition codex, I think. Yeah, I played Space Marine and I was really bad at it. I did not get on too well, but I was playing through the campaign and I was fine enough at the campaign. I just wasn't doing very well at all in the multiplayer. But Space Marine 2 I'm sure will be a completely different game. I was going to get round to pre-ordering Space Marine 2. I think it's coming out in September, isn't it? I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be a vast improvement on the first one, and I hope that they'll support it for a good number of years, because the first one got quite a lot of DLC, right? Hello, El Marto, how you doing? So I honestly haven't, I know that like everybody has been making tons of videos on Space Marine 2, I honestly haven't really watched too many of them, or I watched the official trailer from the Skulls event that was out like, was it like middle of last week maybe? So I watched the official trailer and then pretty much decided I was just going to get it. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had like a really good I mean, Dark Tide was pretty good. I thought Dark Tide was okay, but I think this is going to be better than Dark Tide, or maybe it's just more. I feel like maybe it's got more game modes than Dark Tide. Dark Tide doesn't have a PvP mode, does it? Would it have benefited from a PvP mode? Like, because PvP sometimes keeps the game alive. I don't know. But I did play quite a bit of Dark. I think I was like level 15 or something in Dark Tide. And I did enjoy it. Just never got really that hard into it. But this is different as well, because Space Marines are obviously more exciting than maybe than like the Dark Tide. It was like Ogrins and Guardsmen, right? I'm purposely not painting this guy's helmet because I'm gonna be painting it Dawnstone in a few minutes. I'm gonna give him a gold helmet. He's company veteran. He's gonna need a gold helmet. So I'm making sure I'm not actually painting his head red. If anyone's wondering, there's a rumor that there's a Total War Warhammer 40,000 game. Yeah, I mean it would make sense, right? In that, like, the folk that made Total War have done 3 games now. The first game was like the Old World. The second game was like the Realms of the Elves. I actually don't know where the third game took place. I never got Total War 3. I only got I think I got the first 2. And I must admit I didn't play the second one all that much. I just played the first one. Those sort of like turn-based grand strategy games I think are fine. But I don't know if I play through them once and then I'm kind of done with them, right? Like, I think, if anything, the game that I liked the most, the Warhammer game that I liked the most in recent years was the Grey Knights one. What was that one called again? Chaos Gate. I really liked Chaos Gate. I really sucked at Chaos Gate. I never even got close to completing it, but I did really like it. Antonius, good evening. Two Scoops, good evening. How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a good day, a good summer. I'm just painting up some guys that I need to be ready for my GT here in end of the month, actually. The Blood Angels Commander GT. Some of the prizes actually came on Friday, and we have more prizes on order, and we've got some trophies on order. I need to go and buy a wooden spoon, so I've got to do that. I'll manage that. Alexander, hello. But yeah, the Blood Angels Commander GT should be pretty cool. Having never run a GT before, hopefully we don't mess anything up, I guess. Miles' Eldar is upper class. Do you know what? Miles is going to be difficult if he, like, Miles is coming to the event, and Miles has been playing all these crazy armies that are so strong. I'm a bit worried about fighting against Miles, to be completely honest with you. I need to try and get him on for a game. I don't have an opponent yet for Wednesday night. I'll need to see if Miles will play me on Wednesday, because he's been beating everybody with his 1,000 Suns. Yeah, I don't really want to play him for the first time at an event where he's playing 1,000 Suns, and I haven't played 1,000 Suns, like, barely at all. I think I've played 1,000 Suns once in 10th edition. That's my biggest problem, is that I don't get to play against all the different army lists. I don't have a big enough circle of friends where I can get games against every army list. Miguel says, hello all, sorry to ask, but why would you run Death Company Jump Pack in a unit 5/10? The abilities of the detachment are better to a point cost for running a 10-man unit. I mean, I'm running 5s because I was using them recently to fight Death Guard. And Death Guard will basically have 10 Plague Marines, which are unchargeable because they fight first. So if you run 10 Death Company into 10 Plague Marines, the Plague Marines will fight first and kill all 10 Death Company. That's a fact of life. Maybe you have like one guy alive, but generally you're going to lose far too many Death Company. It's going to be super bad. However, if you run a 5, yes, the Death Company will all die as well, but you can fight on death. And having done it very recently, 5 Death Company with Fight on Death for the 2 CP, I believe the stratagem's called Honor the Chapter. When I did it against the Death Guard player, like I did it on stream just a few weeks ago, the 5 Death Company killed 9 of the 10 Plague Marines. And there might have actually been a mistake where they killed all 10 actually. But I mean, they killed so many Plague Marines that the Plague Marine squad was essentially wiped. So my 140 point Death Company were able to fight on death and deal with the most difficult unit actually in their list, Miguel, because I don't have any unit that I charge Plague Marines with is going to die. The Plague Marines get too many attacks, they have too much AP, they also have minus to your strength, so they're usually wounding you on 2s. So 10 Plague Marines with a Foul Blight spawn, with a Biologist Putrefier will pretty much kill any Marine. Any infantry unit you charge them with will be dead. I charge them later. I charge another squad because he's running 2 squads like that. I charge another squad with a squad of Outriders. They killed all the Outriders. They actually multi-charged them with Outriders and another squad of guys, and they killed all the Outriders and I think it was like 3 of the 4 guys in another squad as well, or yeah, 3 of the 5 guys. Sorry. So yeah, the reason I would run 5 Death Company is because you can sacrifice 5. Doesn't feel too bad. I'd be happy if I'm playing Death Guard and I can sacrifice 5 Death Company to get rid of a squad of Plague Marines. I see that as a huge win because those Plague Marines are the nastiest thing he's got, and normally they're unchargeable. So I would sacrifice 5 Death Company into a squad of Plague Marines, 2 CP Fight on Death to kill enough of the Plague Marines where now I can charge them with another unit, kill them with other unit. So yeah, that's why I run 5s. I think you can run 10s as well though, right? Different, like before I was running Sangre Guard, Miguel, I was running a 10 and a 5. So different purposes, right? So if you're running the 10 and the 5, you sure as hell don't want to be charging the Plague Marines with a 10, but you could charge the Plague Marines with a 5, soften them up so when the 10 goes in, you don't lose like a horrific number of models. There's other reasons to run the 5s as well. But I mean, that's one of the strongest reasons. Blast weaponry is also pretty nasty against 10-man squads too, right? Rebellion, do you think the rumoured new box sets are going to rework Death Companies, make them less good, or do you think their stats and abilities will likely be the same? I think they're probably going to be less good. The thing is, one of the things that I do, I guess, when I'm working on the channel is I look at my old videos and I look at videos that performed well. Sometimes just for like, you know, like let's say I made a video that did really well in 9th edition and it's 10th edition and something like intrinsically has changed. I might want to remake that video because I could make a better version of it in 10th edition. So sometimes I'm looking back at like old videos I've made to know what I'm going to make in the future, right? And one of the things that I noticed recently, because I was looking at some old videos like just the other day, I noticed that I made a video about Blood Angels Rumours and it said I made it 1 year ago. So I mean, it's been a whole year now, pretty much, since we had all these rumours about Blood Angels refresh. So I don't know even what to believe anymore, right? Like, because I guess a lot of those rumours must have just been BS or no substance. I don't know. Mac Perry says he loves the idea of small units of Death Company to deal with fight first. Yeah, it works really well, Mac Perry. I recommend it. I do it. I really recommend it. I don't know how... Before I was doing that, I must admit, I was really struggling into Death Guard. Because I think the best Death Guard lists, like, I watched the YouTube channel Play on Tabletop. They're a giant channel. If you've never watched one of their battle reports, you should. Just Play on Tabletop. If you Google it, you'll probably find them. They gave me a shout out a couple of times, so it's only fair I give them a shout out. One of their guys is running Death Guard, and he's running 3 rhinos. Each rhino has a Foul Blight spawn and 10 Plague Marines inside it. That's nightmarish for Blood Angels to deal with. Absolutely nightmarish. Yeah, they're I don't even know if I could beat a list that's got 3 of those squads, honestly. Because I don't have 3 units I can sacrifice to deal with fight on death 3 times. Plus, probably don't have enough CP to fight on death 3 times, right? Evening, Crozier, how you doing? Yeah, if the Death Company are wiped on the fight on death as well, every model gets sustained 2, which is kind of crazy. Not the Jump Pack Death Company, the Foot Death Company, but yeah, that becomes absolutely insane as well. So, Death Company on foot inside a Rhino. That's kind of one of the things I talked about in this week's tactics video. Like, it's very meta at the moment. It's very strong. I don't know if there's much else to say on that, except it is very meta and it's very strong. If you have Death Company on foot and you have Rhinos, you'll probably do alright. Mark Jackson, good evening. Marius, good evening. I saw your tweet earlier, Marius, calling Valrak a scammer. I take it you couldn't find a game on Space Marine, huh? Is Astroth worth adding to 5 Death Company? I think he is worth adding to 5 Death Company. I mean, I think it's worth adding a Chaplain to 5 Death Company anyway to get the +1 to wound, but if you've got an extra 10 points, rather than giving the Chaplain... because you can give the Chaplain like an enhancement maybe for 10 points. I'd rather take Astroth and give the Chaplain an enhancement. I think that's stronger. 1 turn of dev wounds. Use it as soon as you can, right? Because Death Company don't really survive all that much. Blast isn't really different into 10-man. I mean, Blast gives them an extra shot into 10-man. If you're fighting something like Eldar with D-cannons, there could be 3 extra shots into the 10-man. But yeah, I don't know if I feel like I don't think there's a reason to not take a 10-man. Like, I think the question about the 10-man or 5-man was like, why would you run 5-man and why would you not run 10? I don't think Blast is a big enough reason to not run 10. I think if you're running 10 Death Company with Lamartez, I think that's generally pretty strong. I think that's a good combo. I would still do it as a 10-man. I think you're totally fine to do that. Antonio says, a lot of the internet 40k people hear a rumour but forget. Take it with a grain of salt. I think people just get excited, Antonius. And people don't want to wait for stuff. I think that's more like people just get excited. Which is fine. I mean, I get excited as well. I'd love to get some new Blood Angels models. I really like the Commander Dante model. I got some time coming off the day job in the coming months. So hopefully if I get some time off the day job, I'm going to spend an afternoon or a day try and get some more paint on my Commander Dante. I really do like the new Primaris sculpts that we have. I kind of like the Primaris Jump Intercessors as well, honestly. I think they are good sculpts. So I am excited to get some new sculpts. But hopefully we won't lose too much of our old stuff, I guess. But who knows? I guess that's just a waiting game we'll have to play, right? Bad Francis, good evening. 2 scoops. The Baal Predators are actually really good against Plague Marines, yes. I suppose they're kind of like a bit of a hard counter. I played against Plague Marines a few weeks back with a couple of Redeemers. I'm not using Redeemers at the moment, but Redeemers are very, very good against Plague Marines as well. So if you've got Redeemers, they're great against Plague Marines. I've got my first game tomorrow against the Green Tide. Chris, you need to really respect the movement of the orcs. They move so fast. They're basically going to be all over you, on top of you in turn 2 probably. He's going to probably call his wag in turn 2. Oh dude, 20 gifted, man. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much. Wow. Well, it's the first of the month and I'm already getting like 25 gifted subs in one stream. Dude, you just made my night. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feeling generous, Antonius. Wow. Shout out to him in the chat if he gives you a gifted membership. Use it. Make sure you use it to get into members only Discord room, please, please. I was sharing the final, like, I'm so close to having the new Blood Angels Commander t-shirt design ready.
I have awoken.
We're going to hear a lot of awokens. I'm going to have to scroll up to read the chat, hold on. Wow. Yeah, people do need to learn patience about the... It's fine to be excited about the new releases, I get it. I'm looking forward to having some new releases, and I think we will get them. The main thing, though, is, like, surely we're going to get a Codex roadmap soon, because every Codex that they announced on the roadmap... I think they put the roadmap out, like, last summer, right? So every Codex that's mentioned on the roadmap is basically being released now. So I guess the question is, if all the codexes on the roadmap are being released, when are we getting the new roadmap? So I think we'll be getting a new roadmap in like the next 3 months. The new Jump Assault Intercessors don't seem good for upgrade kits though. Yeah, I suppose you're right. The new Jump Assault Intercessors, you only get 1 Power Fist on 5-man. I don't know what they'll do with Death Company. I haven't heard any... I've heard rumours about new Sanctuary Guard. I haven't heard rumours about new Death Company, but and nobody knows what they're going to do, I suppose, until we get our Codex, huh? Lagmeister, great news. I came second in my local tournament with Sons of Sanguinius. I'm invited to the finals at the end of the month. Congrats, Lagmeister. Well done, you. Were you running anything unorthodox? What's up, Reziel? Good evening.
I have awoken.
Welcoming in the 15,000 subscriber milestone with 20 gifted subs. Antonius, thank you so much. I am kind of...
I have awoken.
I've been kind of in a weird headspace, actually, the last, like, I would say couple of months. My day job has been super busy, and like, when I'm super busy at the day job and then I come home and the kids have been super difficult as well, it's been kind of tough. So, hitting 15,000 has been a goal for mine for a while. I guess it's been so long between the last goal, it feels like it's a long time ago. But, hitting 15,000 has been a goal for a while, and I feel sort of reinvigorated by hitting 15,000 to hit, hopefully, 20,000. When, who knows when that'll be, 2 years or something, but I think it's good to have goals, and I think I'm feeling bullish about maybe at some point being able to hit 20,000, so I think I make better videos. Like, I think if I watch back some of the videos I'm making now, I think they're a lot better than the videos that I was making when I started. So, yeah, it's been for me, it's been a couple... Are we just going to say I have awoken for the whole fucking night, dude? Thank you so much for the I never get that many gifted subs. Please stop saying I have awoken. You're awake.
I have awoken.
Jesus. Surely that's been 20. Surely, Sean says, I always run Outriders in 6-man with a chaplain. Can you run them as a 6? I didn't know anyone ran Outriders as a 6. Okay. Adam says he played his first ever 2,000 point game on Thursday against Grey Knights, lost 95 to 57, had bad secondary pools, but sent the army list for me to look at. Okay, cool. Grey Knights are tough though, man. Like, Grey Knights are so tricksy, they're redeploying all the time. Infiltrators are probably a good shout to help against Grey Knights, but even then, it's be like your infiltrator positioning would need to be super on point. I played Miles as Grey Knights on the channel maybe like a month ago, and I got rocked. Grey Knights are a difficult list to deal with. JT Money says, I bet the roadmap will not be published. Yeah, I think it will be... I think the roadmap will be published in the next couple of months. I don't think they'll get to a point where they've not got a roadmap out, if that makes sense. So I think we're getting... Is it GSC and Sisters is what we're getting? I think that before we get those, there'll be a new roadmap. Because roadmaps are, like Antonius said, they're like hype, right? Like, people get hyped because they know the stuff that they want to buy is coming. And I suppose in this I was going to say, in this financial climate, people want a little bit of notification to know that they're going to have some money set aside, because it's not been super easy for everybody to get all the new models and stuff, and the prices are always going up. So having a little bit of time, I think they'll have a new roadmap out. But yeah, please, if you just got a gifted sub, welcome. Jump onto the Discord, join the channel, the members only channel. James Gibb and I are pushing you to run a Stormraven or a Whirlwind to an RTT to celebrate 15k subs. A Storm... You're pushing for me to run a unit that will make me finish last at the tournament. Why would I want to do that, Reziel? I am going to run... I am like 99% sure I'm going to run 10 Sangreguard and the 6 Outriders to my GT at the end of the month. Like, the list I played this week, I'm pretty sure I'm running it to the GT. I'm practicing it. I like it to a certain extent. I have had a lot of losses this edition, and I've struggled to find like a really good list that suits my playstyle. This one seems to be working. And there's basically no time, right? Like, I'll get like 3 or 4 more practice games. So I think the best thing I can do is take this list, just keep practicing, and this is my GT list. The triumphant return of the Whirlwind. I wish Whirlwinds were good, dude. I wish they were good. It was such a core thing for Blood Angels in 9th edition, wasn't it? Like, it was so important, and now it's just... We gotta blame the Iron Hands. Every time Iron Hands get their stupid combos together, something gets nerfed in the Space Marine Codex, because there's always those damn Iron Hands. There's always an Iron Hands list that they screw up. Evening, Campbell. Skill will overcome. I appreciate that, Rizzy. I don't know if I have enough skill to overcome like a 180 point Whirlwind. I think they're just so... They're far too expensive at the moment. I feel kind of good about the list that I'm playing, though. Like, because I keep playing against Andrew's Eldar, and I think Eldar are, for lack of a better word, like, kind of bullshit. In the fact that they can just do, like, 8 dev wounds whenever the hell they want with indirect fire and stuff like that. So I think I'm feeling reasonably good about this list if I keep managing to beat Eldar, and considering how bullshit they are. You could netlist. I don't netlist, man. I don't enjoy netlisting. There was times in 9th edition where like the net list for Blood Angels was like 3 Death Company, 3 Sangreguard, 3 Assault Squads they were called back then, not Assault Intercessors. But no, I generally don't net list. I would rather make my own list, and if I fail, I fail. My hope is, and it's a hope that I've had for a while now, my hope is one time I win a tournament with basically like the batshit list that the balanced list sort of style that I like to run, and then I can basically say, all you people that only think there's one Blood Angels build, there's not, you know, like. But maybe that's folly, you know. But that's sort of what I preach to the choir, I guess. It's like I'd rather try and do what I'm trying to do. Crispy Delicious missed Field and Whirlwind. I sort of miss it as well. It was a nice tool to have, and it made securing your backfield kind of easy as well. But at the same time, the Whirlwind was basically like an auto-include. You couldn't not have it. And I kind of dislike when units become auto-includes, because it does sort of like force you to be like, oh, you must have a Whirlwind in your list. Do you know what's funny though? In 9th edition, I got a lot of heat in the YouTube comments about the Whirlwind. People would always come in who were like kind of newer and kind of didn't understand Blood Angels and be like, "You're an idiot. Why are you running a Whirlwind? You don't know how to play Blood Angels." And I'm like, "All right, dude. You realize that you can turn off Overwatch anywhere in the board, and you can make the opponent fight last anywhere in the board. You don't think that's good for Blood Angels? But no, I honestly took a lot of heat last edition. Why did the whirlwind stop getting used? Because that's what it did in 9th, dude. It made... You paid 1 CP for a strat called Suppression Fire. It made the unit that was suppressed unable to fire Overwatch, which is very useful if you're going to be charging that unit with Blood Angels. And it also made that unit fight last. So again, if you're charging a unit with Blood Angels and you think you're going to take heavy losses, you just make them fight last, and then you didn't take any losses. So it was like the whirlwind was like a... It was just great. It was so good. But yeah, I think it was actually bad because it became such an auto take that you kind of couldn't run Blood Angels without it. They're changing the Death Jester's ability to, on your turn, remove one enemy character from the game. I mean, he kind of already does that. I think that the amount of shots that Death Jester puts out is kind of ridiculous. You can get like 14? I think that's how many hits he had this week. A sniper with 14 hits. I think I actually killed him this week with an impulsor doing tank shock, was it? That's how you deal with him. My impulsor is always good against the Eldar because the Eldar never kill the impulsor. He runs around eating up toughness 3 enemies with bolters and then tank shocking everything he can. Bring the suppressors. Yeah, not many people bring suppressors. Before I was running the 2 squads of Outriders, I was really tempted to try a squad of suppressors, you know that? I mean, I still am tempted, but I think the list I've got at the moment has a nice balance. So maybe once I inevitably fail to win this next GT, because that's what keeps happening to me, then maybe I'll give suppressors a bit of a shot. Is it worth to tap a chaplain to 3-man unit of Outriders? I don't think so, man. What does a chaplain give them? I think he gives them devastating wounds in their shooting. Well, they only have like 4 bolter shots, or sorry, 6 bolter shots. So I don't think that's worth it. And then I think he gives them maybe +1 to wound. You're not going to be charging tough to kill opponents with Outriders. I mean, they only have chain swords, so I don't think +1 to wound. And I mean, you can have a stratagem that gives you +1 to wound as well. So yeah, my thought is attaching a chaplain to Outriders is probably... I'd rather... The chaplain costs like 75 points probably. Another squad of Outriders costs like 80 points. I'd rather just have another squad of Outriders, honestly. Good evening, DTM. Thank you for subscription on 15,000 subscribers. Do appreciate it, dude. I don't know if I have an opponent for Wednesday night yet, DTM, but it was super cool having you in voice on Wednesday night. I think it helped loads that you could just jump in and be like, "You need to take a battle shock test, you dummy." I always forgetting battle shock. What do you think will happen with our dreadnoughts when the codex comes out? Good question. One of the rumors that was kicking around was that Blood Angels were getting a melee brutalis dreadnought or something. I don't exactly know what it is. Was it like a Death Company brutalis? Yeah, I mean, it's impossible for me to answer rumor questions, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm here. If Games Workshop wanted to talk to me, I'd be so up for talking, but, you know... I know I hit 15,000 subscribers, but I think what I understand is my channel is too small for them to care. So I don't... You know, if you look at all the other painting channels, they're all in like 100,000 subscribers and stuff. So yeah, I guess my channel's too small for them to care. So I don't know what was going to happen to the dreadnoughts. I reckon that... I guess my general thought is... based on what happened with like 10th edition, where like half the Firstborn stuff disappeared, I would reckon like maybe not now, but I would say like over the next 5 years, maybe the next 10 years, almost everything Firstborn will be retired. It's one of the reasons that like I haven't gone out and bought like another Vindicator tank. Like I really like the Vindicator tank. I was running 2 of them. I'm not running any in my current list, but I do really like it. I'm just really scared of like buying a Vindicator tank for it to go Legends, because I bought a lot of stuff right before 10th edition that went Legends. Like I spent like $500 on models and 450 of them went Legends. So I kind of got screwed a little bit just before 10th edition came out, and since then I've been really... Well, since then I guess I've bought nothing that is Firstborn anymore. So I buy Primaris stuff, I guess. Or I don't buy. Rizal says he would be willing to try the Chaplain with a maximised single bike unit. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd be willing to try the Chaplain with a maximised bike unit. I just think the bikes have very big bases. And I think a maximised sized bike unit would actually be quite difficult to play, right? Antonius heard the Furioso was going to Legends. Was that from Valrak? Or was that from somewhere else? You heard that? I mean, I don't know why I ask if it's from Valrak, because although Valrak does, although he does talk about a lot of rumours, he has genuinely been fairly accurate. Like, I don't think anyone else has the rumour stuff as accurate as he has it, right? As much as it maybe pains some people to hear that, I think that's kind of the truth. The rumour was Death Company are becoming an upgrade sprue, and it is parts for Brutalis Dreadnought. The frag cannon could probably be a Redemptor thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the frag cannon will still exist. It's a good question. I don't know if the frag cannon was ever super popular, though, was it? Or maybe it's just not been super popular for a long time. Librarian Dreadnoughts are a must keep. Yeah, I do hope we keep the Librarian Dreadnought. I think we'll keep something for a little while. But, I mean... I suppose it's hard to say. Oh, you did hear from Valrak. Okay. I mean, he is usually he's the most accurate person. I do think he's got someone that tells him some of the leaks, right? Because he usually is something reasonably close to what's actually happened, so... It wasn't good, but the frag cannon was cool. Yeah, I guess. I do have one of my Furiosos modelled with a frag cannon, I just can't remember the last time I used it. Its rules now are a bit weird though, which means it's probably not going to... Like, the frag cannon's like D6 shots, rapid fire D6, like it's just so random. Like, based on that, I would say that's probably not going to get refreshed, just because that seems madly random. Dark Angels kept some of their Firstborn stuff. Yeah, no, I think that we'll definitely keep some of their Firstborn stuff this codex, or this edition, right? But I think, like, every new edition, you're probably going to lose some more Firstborn stuff. I know for some reason Games Workshop have really been trying to hang on to tactical squads and rhinos. I guess that's why some people haven't bought Vindicator tanks. That's... Do you know what? If Games Workshop actually told people what their plan was, they'd probably get more sales, right? Because if they just came out and said, we won't be retiring Predators, Ball Predators, Vindicator tanks, then people would buy that stuff, right? Like, I literally went... So I was running a Gladius list with two Vindicator tanks. And I really, really liked the Vindicator tank. I liked it when it was like 190 points. It's now like 170, right? or 175 maybe. But like I said to my friend Kev, and Kev's been on the channel a few times, you guys know him, he plays Space Wolves. But I said to him, Kev, if I decide to run Gladius, I'm not going to run Gladius by the way now, I'm going to still run Sons of Sanguinius. I prefer the Sons of Sanguinius playstyle, and it feels more Blood Angels. But there was a time where I was really struggling to win with Sons of Sanguinius, and I'd said to Kev, like, do you have a Predator tank? Do you have a Vindicator tank? And he's like, yeah, I've got a Space Wolf Vindicator. And I'd said to him, like, if I go to a tournament and I want to run a third Vindicator tank, could I borrow your one? You know, like, I know it's Space Wolf and I know my army's Blood Angels, but I guess I don't know how much I care about that going to a tournament, I guess. I guess the answer is I don't care that much. I don't care enough to pay $50 for a tank that I think is going to get Legends, I guess. So yeah, it's an interesting question to have, right? Like if Games Workshop came out tomorrow and said, we're not going to Legends any of these tanks, they are going to be the standard staple. They're going to... I mean, the Repulsor range of tanks is kind of poor, anyway. Like, you've got the Repulsor, which I guess is fine, but not that many people run Repulsors. People generally don't rate it highly. You got the Executioner that some people run, but again, I don't know if many people outside of Iron Hands or Iron Spear, I think as they're called now, are running Executioners. You've got the Impulsors that people are running, but the general consensus is people think that we need a Primaris transport that could run 10. Or 10 guys rather than the Repulsor just running, the Impulsor running 6. So it's like, people aren't super in love with those. I guess Gladiators get a bit of play. People do like Gladiators. Some variants more than others. I guess like the Lancer is very popular and the Valiant is super unpopular. But yeah, you know, there's just questions there, and you know, if people come into the stream and ask me like, what do I think's going to happen? I guess the honest answer is I have no frigging clue. I think that if they did come out and say like, hey, we're not going to be Legends and Rhinos and Val Predators and Vindicator tanks, I think people would still buy that stuff because people still think that stuff is cool. Same as, you know, like I used to buy like a lot of Forge World models. Like I used to buy like a Forge World model probably every couple of months. Not necessarily because it was the most competitive thing in the world. In fact, Forge World stuff was generally uncompetitive. But I bought it because it was cool. And there was, you know, like we never had really a Legends, a massive, what would you call it? Like a massive I don't know what you call it, like a massive wave of all the Forge World stuff going into Legends, right? Like, that wasn't something that had happened before. So it didn't feel, I didn't buy any of that stuff with like a worry, like, oh well, maybe the Redemptor Dreadnoughts will go Legends, or maybe Leviathan and the Dreadnought would go Legends. No, we thought to ourselves, maybe if Leviathans are super popular, their points costs might go up and I won't be able to run it. But we never really had to worry about it going Legends, right? Hello Stephen, how you doing? The guy who designed the Impulsor was, I think, in Nova and got an earful from a bunch of Marine players on transports on why the Rhino is better. I mean, the 5-up on the Impulsor, I must admit, is pretty nice. Crozier likes the Gladiator chassis. Yeah, I magnetise my Gladiator, so I can make any of the 3 variants, but I really only have run the Lancer and the Reaper, and I don't really run the Reaper anymore. The Reaper, to me, was more of a good tank last edition. I don't know if I really rate it in 10th. Cambo's still eyeing up in Astreus. You know, I have a half-built super heavy tank Cambo that's probably never going to get finished now. I'm a little bit sad about that. Because super heavy tanks, bit of a project of passion or something. I don't know what you would call super heavy tanks. They're definitely not competitive, but I would buy them every now and then. So I had 2 super heavies. I had the Falchion, which was finished, and I had the Cerberus, I believe, which was like half finished. But yeah, I don't see any reason to finish my Cerberus now. Maybe one day when I've finished every other Primaris model that I own, I'll go back and finish the Cerberus. But that will not be anytime soon. Michael says, hello, I'm currently sitting on an 8-0 record playing people practicing competitive play. Well done, dude. That's very strong. Are you going to take that list to a tournament, or is it all the same list? I took an Astraeus to RTT last edition, and I thought the Astraeus was kind of strong, but then of course I went and ended up playing as Harlequins, and Harlequins have tons of Haywire, and Haywire was like the one weakness that the Astraeus has, and the Astraeus just got eaten alive by all the Haywire. I do think it's a very good idea for GW to tell in advance that they won't be removing specific options in a certain time frame. I really don't see how that hurts them. Yeah, like, I genuinely agree, Rez, that I guess I think it would up sales on some stuff, right? Like, I would, you know, if they came out and said, like, we won't be retiring the Vindicator tanks anytime soon, I would be like, well, I was really enjoying running Gladius with 2 Vindicators, so maybe 3 would be really strong. I guess like an example might be like a Rhino, and I don't really run any units that need to go inside a Rhino, but I feel like the chances of me, if I did, the chances of me buying a Rhino right now when there's like all these new Primaris options, which I just see as like safer models in terms of like their long-term longevity, I don't know how I would justify buying myself a Rhino. So if they say we won't be removing anything in 10th, does that help anything? No, I think it would need to be longer term than that, dude. Because I don't think anyone wants to buy a model that is gone in 18 months to 2 years. Hey, the speed I paint? It takes me 6... If I buy a model, it takes me 6 months to finish it. So I don't want to hear any... I don't want to be told that any model that I'm buying has less than 5 years life expectancy, because it take me 6 months to get it on the table to a point where I'm happy with it. I mean, other people have busy lives too. I'm not the only one. Yeah, I might be slow at painting, but I'm not the only one that has like a busy life and takes a while to get finished models on the tabletop. Taking a cue from 3 Grots, I bought a Thunderhawk. Whoa! Okay, you bought the Thunderhawk. You officially joined the Mentalist Club. Good for you, though, man. How long do you think it's going to take you to make and paint it? You're going to use it in your Ironstorm list. It's very done, but it sounds really fun, excuse me. No other transport can take 10 Terminators. Can the Thunderhawk still take like 2 Dreadnoughts, or did they change that? Wow. You know, I've never actually fought against a Thunderhawk. You need to take it to GT and let us know how it goes. Hey, there's something fun about those giant models, though. I get you. It also gives you a good centerpiece to the army. That's why I really want like one of our characters. Like, I know a lot of people were like wanting Sanguinius back. I don't really. It's not that I don't care. Like, if we got the Sanguinius model, would I buy him and paint him? Of course I would. I don't really care for it necessarily being Sanguinius. What I care for is like a big centerpiece model for my army. That's what my Falchion was before they Legends it. Now I need to find a new centerpiece model for my army, because Blood Angels don't have a Primarch, so we don't have a big centerpiece. I mean, I guess you could say like a Redemptor Dreadnought or a Leviathan Dreadnought could be the centerpiece. Probably the Leviathan less so now because it's Legends as well, but yeah. It's going to take you 8 months. Yeah, I quite believe it. I think 1 year I bought my Falchion with my Christmas bonus from like my day job. And I think I worked on it like the whole Christmas holidays. This was before I had kids. Building it, making it, and then even after, so I worked on it for like quite a lot of time during the Christmas holidays. And my office closes for 2 weeks, so I worked on it for like 2 weeks straight. I don't really do much on Christmas, like, you know, it's crap weather outside and stuff, so Basically worked on it for 2 weeks straight and then worked on it like most of January as well. Cambo says with Centerpiece Sanguiner. I was hoping that we might get Centerpiece Sanguiner. Yeah, I mean, I think that would work for me. Like the Sanguiner, the size of like Rebute Gilliman or something. As obviously not a Primarch, but as some sort of big Centerpiece 350 point style character for Blood Angels. I wouldn't want him to be an auto include. So maybe his like heroic intervention thing that he's got going on at the moment would need to change. So he's not quite as auto includey, but you know, I totally hear you. I think that would be super cool. Bad Francis says we need a Primaris scale Sanguiner. Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, I think we'll get Primaris scale of everybody. Like, I think Lamarta is Astaroth, maybe Corbolo. I do hope if they make a Primaris Corbolo, please for the love of God, give him a jump pack. Because if he doesn't have a jump pack, he's probably still going to be completely useless. Because people just run the regular Sangre Priest with a jump pack over Corbolo because Corbolo doesn't have a jump pack, so he becomes a wasted sculpt at that point, I guess. Crozier says that he thinks Tycho Reborn. I mean, they've done bigger retcons, dude. I guess Tycho probably won't go Primaris, so he'll probably be phased out, right? If I had to guess? What do you guys think? If they redo the Sanguiner, it'll probably be a Helbrecht style model. I'm probably okay with that. Helbrecht's a pretty cool model. What's Helbrecht on? Like he must be on a 60mm base. Because he's bigger than Bladeguard. Actually, he might be on the same size base as Dante, because Dante's on a pretty giant base these days now as well. I've only just started running Dante. I think I've run him like 4 games in a row, but yeah, having just started running him after like a long time of not using him, you do realise that he is on a very big base very quickly. I think it's a 60 or 80. Is Dante not good enough for you guys? I even put wings on my Dante, right? Dante is good. And I mean, I'm running him in my list right now. I'm not entirely sure if many people are running him in their list, but I'm running him. But I do think I would like something bigger. It's not necessarily that like Dante's a bad character. I would just like a bigger centerpiece model. I've had this one model sitting on my desk in front of me for ages. I just haven't painted him because I don't need a Librarian Dreadnought. But one of the guys, one of the members of the channel sent me this guy. This is what I'm talking about, is like a centerpiece model. You know, like something that could be the centerpiece for your army on a custom. This is a custom display base. But yeah, something like big and looming and like this would I don't have the Forge World Sanguinius, but I imagine this guy is probably on the scale of the Forge World Sanguinius, right? That's what I'm wanting. Holgars and Gravis? Yeah, I mean, Kalgar's in Gravis, but Kalgar is... You know, Rebute is bigger than Kalgar by a long shot, right? That looks bigger than Sanguinius. Yeah, maybe. I guess my point is something big. Something like, you know... I would just like something bigger than Dante. And I got nothing against the new Dante. I like him a lot, actually. I know mine isn't fully painted, but I am going to get round to him sooner rather than later. Because I am running him in all my lists. So probably once I get like a few more of these units to sort of the 3-color minimum state, I'll probably get round to doing Dante. So that's probably going to be in the next couple of months, I would guess. And yeah, no, I think Dante is a great model. I like him a lot. I think I would just like something maybe like twice as big as a set. Because a centerpiece, you know, something ominous, something giant that just like looms over the battle, I guess. I just feel a bit jealous that lots of other people have that. I suppose in some ways you could like buy a Castellan Knight and be like, paint the Castellan Knight Blood Angels and then be like, this is my centerpiece. I mean, you could totally do that, right? Bigger than a Redemptor Dreadnought? Probably on the size of a Redemptor Dreadnought. I would say Guilliman is about the size of a Redemptor Dreadnought, right? Maybe a little bit smaller, but probably the same sort of height as a Redemptor, because Guilliman's got that giant sword. Sword of the Emperor. Just something a bit bigger than a standard Marine character, I guess. You know, in some ways you could liken it to like some sort of Abaddon style size. Make a Librarian Dreadnought. Like a character. We used to have a Death Company Dreadnought that was a character, remember that? Someone in chat will remember his name. Oh, think. His name was... I'm forgetting. Moriar the Chosen, there we go. Thank you. Yes, we used to have a Death Company Dreadnought that was a named character back in 4th edition, I believe. I'm not sure, like a... Do you know what? A stunty Dreadnought like that is probably not what I'm looking for, though. I'm looking for something a bit bigger. So as cool as it was to have a named Death Company Dreadnought, if they were given and give us something new, I would want something bigger than that, I guess. I'm surprised you haven't made a tactical squad a pick and mix of Primaris units. Why? Oh, you're surprised they haven't made a pick and mix of tactical squad. Well, here's the thing with Primaris, is they're supposed to be more like, they're supposed to be a bit more like the Horus Heresy in terms of like force organization, right? They're supposed to be more like every guy has the same weapon, like the Infernus Marines, like a Reaver squad. They're supposed to be like rank and file. They're not supposed, like, it feels like the driving principle of Primaris Marines was supposed to be more like everybody in the squad does the same thing. In some ways, I suppose that makes like army creation a little bit simpler, because you're not trying to optimize into every single special weapon. But in some ways, that has made Primaris feel a bit more vanilla. And some people have said that, right? Some people have noticed that and been like, some people, you know, like there's a bunch of people who are like Firstborn advocates who don't even buy Primaris Marines. And one of the things they would say about it is, yes, Primaris Marines are a little bit more vanilla. But I mean, it's by design, right? I guess you have to decide if you like that or not, if you're doing Primaris stuff. I kind of prefer the old way of like units could have a bit more customization, but I guess it makes more sense in terms of like a overall balancing of the game if the units are a bit more regimented. They have like one distinct strength or one distinct weakness that can be balanced for. It's definitely something that's like happened, I guess. If you guys got 2 seconds on tonight's stream and you haven't yet liked the stream, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't mind doing that before you... Oh, well, just... I was going to say before you leave the stream. Just at some point tonight, I'd appreciate it if you could consider liking the stream, I guess. Alright, I've got a fair amount of Dawnstone on this outrider. I'm going to jump to that Primaris captain. His base coat will have dried by now. Get a couple more colours on him, and then I think I almost have 3 colours on everybody. Will Jump Pack Chaplain hold up if Jump Pack Death Company are redone? What do you mean by hold up? Like, I think the Jump Pack Chaplain is possibly like the weakest part of that Death Company squad, right? Because he has the lowest strength. His mortal wounds seem pretty unreliable in that, like, most of the time when I go to do some mortal wounds when he activates, I do 0. And his AP is kind of rubbish as well, so I think... Will the Jump Pack Chap... I suppose it'll depend on what buffs the Death Company need, but here's the thing, like, we were talking earlier in the stream about, like, Astaroth only being 10 points more than a Jump Chaplain. Well, if Astaroth gets some good buffs, or Astaroth gets a bit of a Primaris upgrade, then there might not even be a spot for that Chaplain anymore, because you might just be like, he might just be better running Astaroth every game. I mean, the Chaplain does have a cool looking model, yes. I like his jump pack, he's one of the coolest. I mean, that unique jump pack he's got is second to none, I guess, right? Like, it is a very, very cool jump pack he's got. Did you miss the big 15,000? Apparently, because we have 15,001 subscribers now. Somebody's subscribed since we went live. Yeah, I was saying that 15,000 is a very big deal to me. I'm very, very grateful to be in the position where I get 15,000. I do think part of YouTube is luck. So I think I have been lucky to get where I am, I guess. I mean, it's not all luck, but I definitely think a part of it is luck. So it was like right place, right time. I don't know. Yeah, and I've been having a bit of a tough time with life and with the kids the last couple of months, so things haven't been super rosy for me. So getting to 15 is a huge milestone. Hopefully it's, you know, it's the next step on towards 20,000, which would be super nice. I'm definitely going to try and get to 20. I'll probably make like a thank you video about 15 at some point. $20k by New Year? No. I get like 200, on average I get somewhere between like 200 and 250 subs a month. So 20k is like a multiple year project. Yeah. So even if I get 250 every month, which I don't get, it would take 10 months? No, 20 months, sorry. Yeah, so it's a multiple year project for me, so it's fine, I get it. I used to be a streamer and was doing pretty well for a while, with around 7,000 followers on Twitch, but I stopped when the game I was streaming was shut down. What game were you streaming, dude? But yeah, I don't think Warhammer 40k is getting shut down, that's for sure. More... I think you meant... You said Morning Glory, I think you meant Moradin Glory. And went full-time on YouTube. I didn't actually know that. Good for him, man. I mean, that's one thing that I like about YouTube a lot, is that I am my own boss, right? You have someone breathing down your neck telling you, hey, meet this deadline. Well, in some ways, I suppose you guys are my boss, right? If I don't do good content, you guys don't want to watch, so it doesn't feel the same as like a boss, I guess. He went full time when he lost his job. I mean, that's what Valrak did as well, I believe. I don't really want to lose my job. I've had pretty big bumps before when Auspex Tactics has mentioned the channel, Robert. He's been very good to me. He's mentioned me like 3 times now, maybe. And every time he's mentioned me, I've probably had like a wave of like 100 subscribers. But I mean, I gotta make my own growth. Like I can't really rely on Auspex Tactics, I guess. It's fine. I'm here for the long run, guys. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna get to 20,000. Like, I'm confident I will get to 20,000. Maybe it takes me longer than other channels. Fine. It's not gonna stop me. I never even thought I'd get to 15. Evening, Benno. Evening, Carl. I'm painting a little bit of this Outrider to get him to 3 colours. He's probably well beyond 3 colours now. So I should probably just jump onto this company champion and get some more colours on him, because he is literally 2 colours. You think Auspex will yeah, do you know what? When the Blood Angels Codex comes out, I'll probably get a very good bump in subscribers then, because a lot of people will come on and look for Blood Angels content, and hopefully I can be nailing it. So yeah, maybe when the Blood Angels Codex comes out, I could do like 500 a month, or all my normal subscribers in a month. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I don't know Auspex Tactics. All I know is that he's mentioned me a couple of times. And the guy's a machine, like, he puts out so much content on such a regular basis. I've never met him, I don't know. What paint am I looking for? I'm looking for Mechanicus Standard Grey. There we go. Yeah, I am finding Outriders useful, Carl. I'm playing them kind of like I would play Scouts, honestly. I'm playing them kind of like durable Scouts. Because every time I try and play Scouts, my Scouts just die. They die horrifically in the early game, in the early turns. Mullen says, do you think I could make more videos on the painting side? I could, Mullen, but here's the thing. I don't have enough time in the week. You know, I think that's what I was sort of saying, like, it's not been the easiest few months for me. Because we've got a big product launch at work, like my day job, I've been working like 9.5, 10 hours a day. I have an hour commute, so it's like 10.5 every day. I get 2 kids that are very young and need a lot of attention, and then I got to make YouTube videos on top of that. So yeah, it's been very busy and hectic. So I don't think I can make more than I currently make. But hey, my channel's different, you know, like, it's fine. Would like it to be bigger, sure. Am I happy where it is? Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think there's other people that do the painting side of stuff better than me anyway. I could do more live battle reports, for sure, but I literally can't at the moment because with the 2 young kids, they're very, very difficult to deal with. Like, so we have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and honestly, today, this afternoon, when I was looking after my 4-year-old, I had to ask her like 8 times or something, like, can you please listen to me? You know, it's like a little person that has their own, you know, has their own brain or whatever, and they just flat out don't want to listen to you, and you can ask, and you can ask, and you can ask, and if they don't want to listen to you, they don't want to listen to you. So yeah, I could make more. I would like to make more. Sometimes when I'm off work for a while, I make some the odd painting video and stuff. But yeah, it's hard for me to this is hard for me to get the time, I guess. You could chop up some of the live streams into shorts. I have thought about doing that as well. Yeah, I mean, the channel's at a good point now, right? Like, it's 15k, or 15.001. It's growing all the time. I'm sure things will change over time, but I'm not worried. Guys, I'm super grateful for being at 15,000. You have no idea. So Mordian has an editor, you know that, right? Because Mordian's editor messaged me, Andonius. So I don't think Mordian cuts up his own streams. I think he's got someone he's either paying someone to cut him up, or that person's doing that. I don't know how it works, but he definitely has an editor. I spoke to the editor because he asked if he could use that Blood Angels video I made. Hey, Highland Phoenix, thank you so much. It's been a journey, huh? The never-ending journey. Next up, 20,000. That's the new goal. I'm excited to try, and I think I'll get there. Don't know how long it'll take, but I'll get there. Yeah, no, in our house, Rezio, basically, once the kids decide that they're not going to listen for, let's say, like, 5 times or something, then they have to go and either sit in quiet time or they have to sit in timeout. Because, yeah, it is very frustrating, you know. Especially when it's like simple things like, hey guys, your dinner's ready. Can you please come and eat this food that we spent the last half hour cooking for you?
I
You have
have
to
awoken.
ask that 5 times. You're like, Jesus, come on. $40 months of membership, Highland Phoenix. You superstar. The never-ending story. Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. I think 20,000 is that's the dream now. Maybe a couple more years. But yeah, I never even thought about that. Maybe when the 10th edition codex comes out, then I'll get a lot of people interested in Blood Angels then. That might be cool, actually. I suppose we'll get a tier list out with the new codex. It's been a little while. It's been a hot minute since we made a tier list, hasn't it? The kids learn to pick their battles eventually. Yeah, well, I have noticed that. And the funny thing, Antonius, is the kids can be so nice at times as well. You know, like sometimes they just, without prompting, they come in and tell you like, hey, you know, give you a big hug and just say thank you for the silliest thing. Like, but the other times they can just be super hyper. I was thinking it was like to do with like the amount of sugar they were getting, and I was trying to like drop how much sugar that we're like, you know, not giving them like chocolate after dinner time and stuff like this, but there seems to be no rhyme or reason. Just sometimes kids get hyper, and when they're hyper as an adult, you just got to deal with it, and there's not much you can do about it. Try and be calm, I guess, is the thing you can do about it, right? Sorry, Clint, I didn't see you pop in. Did I say hello to you? How you doing? A grain of troop sits, hoping they don't take all of our toys away. What you mean with the new codex? I don't think they'll take them all up. They don't typically take too much away mid-edition. We might lose... I think the one thing that we might lose is Death Company. I think Death Company might be in a new... like, there might be some sort of new iteration on what Death Company look like. But the rumour I've heard is that there's going to be new Sangre Guard, like Primaris Sangre Guard, so maybe that will make up for any loss of Death Company? I don't know. People have been wanting Primaris Sangre Guard for forever. How do I plan on using the company champion in-game? He has to join. He has to be part of the company veteran squad, right? I've played the company veteran squad like in the last 3 games that I've played, and I kind of like them. I think that they're decent for the points. They're not really a killing unit, but they hold objectives because everybody's got 4 wounds in OC2. And they have -1 to wound, and they have to be attached by a character, so you attach them to captain. So they basically have permanent armor of contempt, because you're always going to use... They're not a killing unit, so you always use that captain to give them armor of contempt every time they're targeted. So they're -1 to wound with kind of like permanent armor of contempt. And they're 4 wounds a model. So yeah, he's just going to be part of the company champions. And the idea is that they will hold an objective or charge onto an objective and then just try and OC it away from my opponent, because it'll be like 10 OC. And they're pretty difficult to deal. I mean, they're, like I said, they don't do damage, but they survive. And sometimes you need units that just survive, and I guess that's what they are, right? I've called my daughter a Sour Patch Kid. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Hello, Astartes Party. Good evening. Hopefully Sanguinary Priests will get to join more squads. Everybody wants Sanguinary Priests to be able to join the Sanguinary Guard. I bet you if they did that, Sanguinary Guard would be super popular. Oh yeah, super chat. Clint, thank you so much, Clint. I appreciate that. Nice to see you. You've been a supporter of the channel for a long time as well, Clint. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna just keep ticking over, trying to get to. It'll take me like 2 more years, but I think I'll get to 20,000. That's the goal now. That's what we're shooting for. Shooting for the star. What is that corny saying they always used to say? Like, shoot for the stars, and then regardless of where you end up, you'll
Clint
aim for the
Barger
moon or
donated
something like
$10
that.
via super chat. Congratulations.
Or shoot for the moon, and then even if you fail, you'll end up in the stars. There's something corny like that. That's what we're doing. We're shooting for the moon. 20,000. Thanks, Clint. You're gonna put your Firstborn bikers on Outrider basis. Why not, dude? I really hate the fact that they retired so many models. Well, look, I'm running this guy. This guy is a friggin' Firstborn jump pack guy. I'm running him inside my my jump assault intercessors, right? Like, I have my jump assault intercessors mixed up. So I only bought 1 squad of jump assault intercessors, but I'm running 10 at the moment. So 5 of them are the Primaris version, and 5 of them are the Firstborn version. And sometimes I run them as 2 5s, and I just split the Primaris models across both squads so that I kind of have the right size models in each squad, but I also have some Firstborn in there. That's how I would do it. Hello, Quicks. Good evening. Oh, she's sour. She's sweet. I get you. Okay, yeah, I guess my kids are like that as well. Sour Patch. That's cute. I hadn't heard that before. Yeah. I still want to be able to stick Mephiston with the Blade Guard. Yeah, you know, Mephiston really does need to go with the Blade Guard. I think Mephiston in of himself is kind of an average character. And the reason... I played him a few times, right? And I've played him even since they dropped him to 100 points to try and make him competitive, I guess, or to make him like a character that people will actually want to include in Blood Angels. And I think even at 100 points, I don't like him. So I think that, like, if they want to make Mephiston someone that Blood Angels players actually want to play, they need to change his rules, which I don't think they will do. So I think they do need to let him attach to Blade Guard. And I think the reason they probably didn't attach him to Blade Guard is because they were worried that it might be too strong. But honestly, I think if you're attaching a unit to Blade Guard, I'd rather have a 75-point Judiciar, and again, the Mephiston and the Judiciar kind of do the same thing. So yeah, I just think Mephiston was a missed opportunity in 9th edition in terms of his rules. He's honestly a missed opportunity in 10th edition as well. It's a little bit sad, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Quicks bought the jump assault, or he bought some assault squads that are now Vanguard veterans. I suppose that's one way you could do it, yeah. Foot Captain's been so much better than Mephiston is disappointing. He's not terrible or anything, but he's completely overshadowed by the Captain with a fist, says Kevin. Yeah, Kevin, I was literally running Mephiston plus 5 assault intercessors and I replaced them for the exact same points, the captain plus the company veterans, and I think that's a much better useful squad for me, because I feel like the company veterans and Mephiston kill just as much stuff. Sorry, the company veterans and the captain kill just as much stuff, if not more, because the captain gets like 9 devastating wounds attacks, and the other part of it is there's so much more survivability in 4 veterans plus a captain than there is in Mephiston plus 5 assault intercessors. Like, their survivability is just on a whole other level. So they have permanent -1 to wound and permanent armor of contempt, basically. So, yeah, the fact that they're 4 wounds per model just makes it them, I guess, like against a 3 damage weapon, which sometimes people have. I guess they're really good against 3 damage weapons, right? Hello, Jim. Good evening. Problem with Mephiston is he's a Judasar with less squad options. Yeah, but I think, honestly, I think the biggest problem with him is the fact that his weapon does D3 damage. So you can't rely on him to do any sort of consistent damage output. I mean, his sword has really nice strength and stuff, but it always screws you when you start doing D3 damage. The amount of times that I need to roll, like, to do 2 damage on a D3 damage weapon, and you roll a 1 or a 2 is ridiculous. If his sword was 2 damage, I think Mephiston would be in the realms of playable. But because it's D3, I'm like, oh god, just stay the hell away from that. But yeah, I think if he was attached to Blade Guard, it might make the conversation a little bit more difficult, but I still sort of think that I would prefer to just have a Judiciar on the Blade Guard than paying 25 points for Mephiston, who we can all agree is unreliable. Dumb question, since Mephiston is toughness 5, is he actually supposed to be some kind of Terminator armor? No, I don't think he's supposed to be in Terminator armor. I think the toughness 5 is like a holdover from his lore, where he was supposed to be like what was it? He was supposed to have been like buried under all that rubble and suffering from the Black Rage and sort of pushed through and came back. I think that's where his toughness 5 is supposed to come from. It's actually less important now though, right? Because like when you roll to wound a unit, you roll at the strength of the squad's toughness, so very rarely does this toughness 5 actually help him that much anymore. Helped him more in previous editions, because it doesn't help him so much in the new edition. I ran Mephiston in 9th, says Antonius. I ran him in 9th to GT as well, and everybody told me not to run him to the GT. They were like, don't do it, John, he's bad. But I feel like he was at least better last edition. Last edition, I still think that he needed a +1 to Psychic cast. I do think he was better last edition than he is right now. Do you know what? I think Mephiston is probably great in boarding actions games. I ran him in boarding actions and really enjoyed him, but I don't think many people are playing boarding actions. They made it too difficult to get the rules for boarding actions, right? Like, there's no one-stop shop, here's all the rules, you can just download and play boarding actions. Maybe if they'd done that, or they just sold like a boarding actions book for 10th, then like we'd have seen a lot of people playing Mephiston in boarding actions. I think he's good there. It's crazy that he's the only librarian in tactical armor that doesn't join Blade Guard. I guess it was a balance thing that they never... I mean, maybe it's a bug. Sometimes they get those unit things wrong. Maybe somebody needs to send in a ticket to FAQ, the 40k FAQ one, and ask them if it's a bug. They do make mistakes. They are. I reported a couple of bugs earlier this edition. I think. I'm trying to remember what I reported a bug about. That was it. I think it was Librarian Dreadnought. Because the Librarian Dreadnought, in the photo of it in the codex or the index, the photo of it in the index showed the smoke launcher on top of it, but it didn't have the smoke keyword. So I put in a message to like the whatever you call it, the FAQ at 40k, the bug thing. It said there's a picture of a smoke launcher on top of the Librarian Dreadnought, but in the rules he doesn't have smoke. The keyword is that a bug, and they fixed that like in the very next data slate or whatever it was. Mephiston is built different, that's why he's toughness 5. Yeah, it's because he's the Lord of Death. But unfortunately his toughness 5 doesn't make all that much difference nowadays. At least they finally gave him an invuln, because he never used to have an invuln. Last edition he didn't have an invuln. He had a 2-up save and the 5-up feel no pain, but I'm really glad they finally gave him an invuln. That was so overdue. It had been overdue for years. So that's good. They now just need to give him some good choices to attach to, and we'd be laughing, I guess. If your entire bodyguard is T4 and your toughness 5, it's kind of useless, says Kevin. Yeah, and I guess you're probably paying some points to be toughness 5, right? Because it's not like Mephiston gets to be toughness 5 in his data sheet for no points. Like, there's a formula for working out the points of stuff on data sheets. So you're paying some points for Mephiston to be toughness 5, but you get literally no bonus out of it. And based on the fact that he's T5, it would actually probably make more sense he joins Terminators, but he doesn't synergize with Terminators because he moves 7 inches and Terminators move 5. So, yeah, I don't know. It feels like Mephiston needs a bit of an overhaul for the Codex. I suppose there's probably quite a few units that probably feel like they need an overhaul when the Codex comes out. Cambo's still debating Eliminators. I haven't seen too many people use Eliminators. I know that some Black Templars were doing some sort of janky shoot, jump inside an impulse or shoot again with the Eliminators. Did they fix that? Is that valid still now? Can you still do that, or is that why they got put? I know the Eliminators got put up 10 points. It's still valid, you can still do it? Okay. They're too expensive because of the impulsor jank. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you run 6 Eliminators inside an repulsor and you fire twice, I feel like if you do that, they're probably not too bad cost-wise. But yeah, I guess again, units get nerfed because they're in some detachment that is making best use of them. What detachment was doing that? Was that Vanguard or was that something else? To be honest, it's not as good as it seems. Yeah, I mean, they're only strength 9, right? I mean, that's probably their biggest weakness. It's good in Iron Storm. I mean, it always comes down to that damn Iron Storm. Iron Storm! Screwing the game for everybody! Andrew was actually talking about selling all his Iron Hands. He was asking me if I wanted to buy any of it. I probably don't. But, yeah, he's got a bunch of, I guess he's just got a bunch of, his Iron Hands list was always very vehicle heavy, so drop pods, dreadnoughts, Devastator squads. And I know he's got a Astraeus and a couple of Repulsor Executioners. But, Andrew is on to the next one. Yeah. He's the biggest meta chaser that we know, but we love him for it because it lets us practice against all the meta armies. And boy, does he love to chase the meta. I'm actually surprised he sold his Necrons. Maybe he didn't realise how strong they were going to be. The reroll detachment ability is bonkers. It always has been. Yeah, I mean, Eldar are using that, and it's so big. It's the equivalent of having 2 CP for every single unit, right? Like 1 hit reroll, 1 wound reroll on every single unit. When you run minimum size units, it's so friggin' strong. And there's a bunch of Eldar units that really benefit from that. D-cannons for precisely that. What's the other one that really benefits from it? Is the Warwalkers really benefit from it as well. Man, I was so pleased to beat Eldar again this week. I hate, literally hate playing them. You know, like, it's funny that, because they talked a lot about making indirect fire less oppressive. And then you play against Eldar, and their indirect fire is the most obnoxious thing in the entire game. Where they have D6 plus 2 dev wounds indirect fire, with anything that's hit is -1 to hit next turn. Like, everything about that unit is just so friggin' strong. I don't, and they're so oppressive. I don't understand why D-cannons are so friggin' good, man. And what's messed up is they're 135 points now. When that codex came out, they were 85. So they've basically put them up almost 100%, and they're still so obnoxious. Like, they just remove so much of the fun of the game, where it's like, if I move anywhere on this side of the tabletop, I'll be hit with like 10 D-cannon shots, and every single shot is a dead marine because they're hitting me at -4. Why has their indirect fire got more EP than las cannons? Like, what is that? Damn, Thousand Suns is all I have to say, yeah. I overplayed Ironstorm and burnt out on it despite winning quite a bit. There's not enough variety on it. I feel like I did the same, Kevin, with Gladius. Because I played Gladius for like 6 months. And I was super close to getting that top 3 finish. Literally 1 dice roll away from getting a top 3 finish with Gladius. And that was when not many people were getting top finishes with Blood Angels, because it was before the Sons of Sanguinius detachment got improved, and most people were really struggling with Blood Angels. But yeah, I was like a singular dice roll away from a top 3 finish with Gladius, but I feel like I played so much Gladius that I kind of burnt out on it, and also I don't really play shooting lists. Like, I have a little bit of shooting in my army, but like, shooting is not really how I play 40k. I usually like to have like something like a quarter is shooting. My current list is 2 Predators and the Ballista Dreadnought, which is just, I think it must just be like 400 points, right? Because Predator's like 130, maybe 135, and the Ballistus is 140. So I must be like 400 or 410 points of shooting. And I think that's just perfect for me. I don't want any more than that. I feel like that seems to complement my playstyle and give me a bit of breathing room. Does Andrew still have his Votan? Yeah. I think he's waiting for Votan to get a bit. Like, Votan certainly do lack units, right? Like, there was only like 6 units in the codex. Maybe 6 is an exaggeration, but yeah, there's not that many Votan units in the codex. So yeah, I think he's probably waiting until there's a few more units in the codex to do anything else with Votan. Rerolls on 2 is just broken. I don't know if it's broken, Clint, but yeah, it's super strong. Super strong. But I mean, I guess Eldar have rerolls on 2 and then fate dice. And especially when the fate dice can be like 8 wounds from an indirect D cannon. That's horrific. He did that against my Predator tank, eh? He's just like, oh, just take 8 dev wounds on the Predator tank. I'm like, cool. Suppose that Predator tank's dead then. 125 for Ball Predator. Yeah, I'm not running Ball Predators, or I'm running Predator Destructors. Slightly different playstyle than what the meta is, I guess. But I mean, I do rate the Ball Predators as well. But my list at the moment is Predator Destructors. And I guess I was probably running them before everybody started doing Ball Predators, maybe? I don't know, I started running them because I was having problems with Death Guard, and I felt like they were pretty good at dealing with the Death Guard units that I was having problems with. I feel like I definitely lost a couple of times against the Death Guard. And I thought to myself, Destructors seem like a good counter for what Death Guard can do. Right guys, I'm starting to get a bit tired. It's like 25 past 11. I can see my eyes starting to glaze over a little bit, so I'm going to be here for like 5 more minutes. Then I'm going to head to bed. I'm going to be back tomorrow night to do the army list show though, so I mean you can catch me tomorrow night. I want that new Votan unit just to paint, the little trench coat cowboy dwarfs. I didn't even realise Votan were getting a new unit. What is it? I must have missed that. Was it on Warcom, was it? Yeah, I tried the Ball Predator, Kevin, and I struggled to feel like I could get enough value out of it. And the thing about Predator Destructors is they've got that extra 1 point of AP against infantry. They have really good range. Like really, really good range. So they're just going to sit miles away for the whole game and tear some things up. And I actually think the 3 damage from the autocannons is kind of useful, you know, like I guess just the fact that it's flat 3, like there are units that will struggle and they have to take like 3 or 4 saves when it's flat 3 damage. So yeah, I'm very much in love with the Destructors. I don't think that many people are playing them. I don't think many Blood Angels players are playing them, but I'm really in love with them. So, but my playstyle is always different from them, you know, from what's super meta or whatnot. My playstyle is I always try and back up with a little bit of shooting. I think it comes back to just the way I've always played 40k. I think Ball Predators have their uses, and I think, again, in like that Eldari matchup, a Ball Predator would have been very useful. The Overwatch Flamers would have been very, very useful against Toughness 3 Eldar, right? Like, there's no denying that. Toughness 3 Eldar do not like Strength 6 -2 Flamers, or hell, even the Strength 5 -1 Flamers would be very good. But, yeah. Destructors are going to see a ton of play in the Chaos Raider detachment. Are they? Have they got the same? Have they got the same? Just what is it? -1 when you shoot infantry. The same. I don't even know what you would call that. The same main rule that the Predator has. I saw a few Death Guard lists. I saw one on Play on Tabletop that had double, maybe it was actually triple Destructor. But yeah, I think Destructors are good. Like, I think if you've got a couple old Destructors and you're struggling for fire support, then I like them a lot. They're amazing in Death Guard with lethals and heavy bolters. I suppose the extra AP in Death Guard would be really good with them as well. Jim, so a lot of people are playing Destructors, it's not just me. So yeah, if you're, I was going to say, rather than netlist, I can't remember who came into the stream and was like, you should netlist. Rather than netlist, I like to figure things out, like Destructors, and confuse people by taking them to a tournament when not many people are playing against Destructors, and then win games against people that would normally, you know, like some people will go to a tournament and be quite confident playing Blood Angels and be like, oh, I know how to deal with Blood Angels, and then they come up against your Blood Angels and be like, oh, hold on a minute. This Blood Angels player is running something totally orthodox I have no practice against. I like that. I like doing that. That's what I live for. I've beaten some really good players doing that as well, because they don't know what my list's going to do, or they don't know exactly what to expect. Watching Morden, the power of D3 weapons is impressive. Yeah, I mean, flat damage 3 is really good. Like, it's really, really good. Especially if people are running stuff like Terminators or Death Guard, or running Death Shroud, which are quite common, right? Like, it's just very, very useful. Plus, I feel like when you shoot tanks with the Destructor's autocannons, because you typically can get like 6 shots, you usually end up making them take like 2 or 3 saves. They usually fail 1 or 2, and all of a sudden it's like a nice chunk of extra damage just sneaks on in there. So I really like it. If people don't know what I'm going to do, they'll never know how to counter me. Well, exactly. There you go. First game of 40k next week, says Joe. I'm playing Tau. Pray for my sons of Sanguinius. Use as much cover as you can. God, Tau's firepower is so oppressive at times. Everybody, when you deploy, you shouldn't be able to see anyone or anything. Everything needs to be in cover. Like, completely obscuring cover, Joe. You're probably not going to get that right in your first game, but hey, what you need to learn, or what you need to know, is that you need to practice that. I had an opponent that I used to play against that was so good at that. Like, basically, it taught me, because every single time I played against him and I didn't deploy, where every single unit was totally obscured, he would kill so much stuff in turn 1 that, like, I had to, like, peace out one time in, like, turn 1 or 2 and just be like, yeah, this game is over. I lost way too much stuff from your turn 1. Can we just start over? And he was a very amicable person. He was like, yeah, of course we can start over. But playing against someone like that made me learn to be like, right, my army list, like, I need to be deploying to a state where, like, if the opponent goes first, they're not going to be able to kill anything. Like, literally nothing. I think that happened this week, I think. Against the Eldar. I think Eldar went first. I think maybe he had 1 artillery that killed, like, 2 bikers or something. I think that was all he was able to do. I mean, you can lose a couple of bikers, that's fine. I guess my point is, you gotta learn to deploy well enough where, like, your losses are absolutely minimal. And if you're playing against Tau, and the guy's a reasonably experienced Tau player, that's gonna be your aim. If you take nothing away from the game, that's what you need to take away from the game. Tau Plasma chews up Marines. A lot of Tau's weapons chew up Marines, to be fair. I had a game in a tournament recently against Tau, and it felt pretty horrific. It just felt like I had to hide my units behind cover the entire game, and anything that went out was pretty much dead. Could you review Auspec's Tactics Strong Army per Faction for Blood Angels that he releases today or tomorrow? I could. What do you mean he's doing a strong army for Blood Angels? Like, he's going to do a video where he covers a Blood Angels list? I must admit, I don't always watch Auspec's Tactics, so if he's got new initiatives going on, I probably haven't seen them. Tell me what it is and I'll I can probably make a video on it. I don't have any giant plans this week I couldn't change. He posts a video where he posts up a strong list for each army. All right, and when does he do that? Every week? I'm pleased with that. I got all those models have 3 colors on them, so they're all battle ready. They can all be placed. You did it an hour ago. Okay. He does it once per data slate. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I can definitely probably do that. Have a look at it. Oh, I am tired. Did you see that? I got my new Blood Angels background. Look at it. I can't point at it. It's cool, right? Probably pop it off. Look. Pretty dope. I've been wanting that poster for like, I don't know, a year or something. I've come to kill Horus and chew bubble gum, but I'm all out of gum. Yeah, you like the other one? I thought, I was only really wanting the Blood Angels one, but when I saw that on the website, Crozer, I could not. Yeah, it is a Vanguard veteran, you're right, Sanguine. I couldn't not get it. Like, look how dope it is. If you've never seen this movie, you have to see this movie. It is amazing. Alright, thank you so much for the gifted and the new memberships and all that good stuff tonight, guys. I do really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow night for, what's the movie? They Live. I was gonna say, can I even put it on... 1988, They Live. John Carpenter. His other big movies were like The Thing, Escape from New York. Trust me, it's one of the best 80s movies. It's where that quote, what's the quote? It's like, I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, but I'm all out of bubblegum. That's where that movie came from. Oh, sorry, that's where that movie came from? That's where that quote came from. John Carpenter's dope AF, yes. Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow night. And yes, I can probably check out Ospec's video and see if we can include that. Alright. Thanks for watching. I was going to say I'll see you guys a lot before 20,000, but we will get to 20,000. It'll happen. See you next time. Have a good night. Peace.